Today we're going to go through the basic project tracking dimension with Sage Intacct. And really what it allows you to do is get that project object and dimension, which ultimately allows you to create project records with descriptive elements and also tag those financial transactions with that dimension to, let's say, AP bills, purchase transactions, if you had AR, order entry transactions, or even journal entries, right? That dimension gives you that availability throughout the entire Intacct solution, having that valid project ID. And then later on, having that for analysis and reporting. We can have different reporting groups that we can set up to run different types of reports or financial statements be broken out by that specific dimension. So what we want to do is walk through the process starting with creating that project dimension. So here I'm just in the product looking at projects, and I'm just going to go as if I'm creating a new one here. We're going to give it a specific name. We can give it a contract, if we will, and I'll go through and just do trial G, all right? And then I can also group it to a specific grouping that I have. This can also be reportable fields. All of these act as different fields that we can create and design reports geared around that. So I'll pick BT trials, but that could be any of those project types. If one wasn't in there, we could create one as well. Then I can give it this specific date that I want. Maybe I'll do today's date, but backdate it to a year, and maybe we'll end it a couple months forward from now. All right. We can add a customer, so linking it to a customer if we wanted, having descriptions, statuses of these, right? So I can have a lot of details around that. Well, that's going to give us the ability to now track that dimension. As I go ahead and save this, we're going to see in our list that trial G is also included, all right? So the next step that we want to look at is being able to group these together in different groups that will ultimately allow us to report better on. So if I come here and look at my, let's say, project groups, you can see a list of all of the different types of groups that I have. This is layering on that additional drillability reporting structure that we would want. Maybe I want this to be a part of my equate study, right? So I can go in, view, or edit what I have. I've already included a couple of these trials, but now I'm going to go and add that trial G. Notice also, though, if it's not there, I have the ability to add it from here, which will take me to that previous screen on adding that trial. Well, as I save that, it's going to then be included in that equate study. We can, strip it down with a couple of different project groups if we wanted to look at it that way. Now, before we go into the reports and see how we're able to slice and dice these reports even from a dashboard based on these project groups, I wanted to show the ability to tag these dimensions to different transactions. And I'll just pick one in purchasing. If we had a purchase order, come here, we were going to create a new one, give it all the vendor details that we would want, but let's focus here on the entries and more the details here in the entries, particularly for this use case in the project. This is where I'm able to tag that specific trial in this case or project dimension that I included, and this will live for with this transaction for the life of the transaction. When we convert this into a vendor invoice, we can tag that, or that will follow also that tag throughout that vendor invoice as well. That's showing just one line item. Showing another detail for the second line, I can have another project selected. And I can do this for multiple different projects. So it gives you the ability to have a different project or project dimension tag to each line item on these transactions. This is just a purchase order, but this also applies to AP bills, AR invoices, order entry transactions, even journal entries. All right. Now, the real catch is when we're looking at the reporting, the ability to drill into the details and see what is all part of that dimension that we tag, that project dimension. Maybe it's a trial or any other dimension that we have. When I look at the structures, I wanted to show this here before we go into that dashboard that I'm going to showcase. We included those, two different reporting structures. We have the equate study, equip study, right? Now we can see the members that are associated with each one. Trial A, B, and C for that one. Now if we go, I'll come back here to equate, we can see those 4 members with that additional one that we just added on the fly a minute ago. So very easy to get it in these different reporting structures. So when we do come here to, let's say, a dashboard, we're able to start filtering the data. If we look up here at these filter sets by those different types of project groups, knowing that those specific projects and the IDs, like all of those trials that were listed, are a part of that group. So I can select that and then apply those filters and see specific reports related to that. That project dimension gives you the ability to analyze the data based on that, include it in all of your financials or any different types of reports in Sage Intacct. So hope this helps. Hope you have better understanding on the project dimension and the tracking of that in Sage Intacct.